Friends, this is the second in a series of conversations on the subject of Kerala model of healthcare, which has generated curiosity the world over because of the state's successful fight against COVID-19. We'll be watching here two activists engage in conversation. How did Kerala handle the pandemic through state machinery, various institutions, NGOs, and the volunteers? What was the relationship between the state, social organizations, and the public? How did it evolve to give such a determined fight, and how could it achieve such impressive results? For this, we have with us Vinaya Malati Hari, inquiring on behalf of Vicharved about the dynamics and process of Kerala's battle. She is based in Pune and has a long association with people science activities in Maharashtra and elsewhere. She has been active among workers and women too. In all, she has been involved in social life for 4 decades. Now something about Vicharved. Vicharved, meaning quest or inquiry of thoughts, is a Pune-based collective platform launched by progressive-minded persons in Maharashtra. The core goal of Vicharved is to promote creative thinking and free expression of ideas. Vicharved conducts annual conferences on various social topics. Along with this, the major and consistent activity is running a YouTube channel where a number of its thought-provoking short films and lectures on various topics are presented. With a few videos in Hindi and English now, this being one such example, Vicharved attempts to study issues and events outside Maharashtra too. Dr. Vijay Kumar will be speaking here from Kerala. He has been associated with Kerala Shastra Sahitya Parishad, better known as KSSP, since 1976. He is the chairperson of the Health Committee of KSSP. Dr. Vijay Kumar is currently working as the professor and the head of the Department of Community Medicine at Amrita Institute of Medical Science in Kochi. A word or two about KSSP will be in order here. KSSP is essentially People's Science Movement active in Kerala since 1962. It seeks to imbibe the spirit of scientific inquiry. Its total literacy campaign, plus People's Planning Movement and movement to form local self-government, all these are important parts of the foundation of Kerala model. With membership of about 40,000 and operating through its 2,300 units, KSSP has been an integral part of social life in Kerala. So, let us turn to the conversation.
Vijay Kumar, we welcome you on behalf of Vicharved platform here active in Maharashtra, and thank you very much for sparing your time from such a busy schedule. Now you are too much engrossed in COVID campaign and all that. So Kerala fight against COVID is commendable for not only India, but it is recognized all over the world now. We have seen just last day's NDTV also. So we are happy that you are sharing your experiences as state health chairman of KSSP, the biggest people science organization in India. So as we all know, Kerala has immense social strength, and we are really appreciate its massive voluntary involvement also. So how did the state machinery involve all these various organizations like KSSP, trade unions, women's movement, and the youth and students, etc., etc.? What was the process? Did you approach the state approached you all? How you are, I mean, what was the exact process of that? Yes.
It's a very good question. I really appreciate it. Basically, organization was not directly approached by government agencies. Each member of the organization was a responsibility to the society. And maybe roughly we are 35,000 or 40,000 members here, and each one was involved in their own sphere of activity.
Yes.
Many of them are working with the government sector, many of them are outside government sector. But once the calamity struck, all of us were actually thinking together, and the General Secretary as well as President called all the district level functionaries over Zoom, how best we should actually organize, what should be done. So we have developed our own strategy, and luckily more than one member of KSSP was closely associated with the state health system, and we have got better connectivity with the policymakers at the government level also. So it was not any formal request, but whatever, there was an innate strength in the government approach. Basically, unlike in many other situations, they listen to you. They may not actually follow what you are suggesting. But if you make some suggestion, they will listen to you, and they will weigh it, take merits on that, and take a decision appropriately. So just to give you, at the start itself, everybody was saying, say, social distancing. So our organization, it is not social distancing, rather it is physical distancing and social proximity.
Right.
So the point is that, when you put something like that, it doesn't even take days to reach out to the highest decision-making body and coming up with. So it was not actually a separate. We were actually working in the state as a whole was actually working together. I'll say. Even trade unions, KSSP, different organizations. Whoever has got certain opinion, and the communication channels were open. That gets to the top, and the press was there naturally. So things were actually getting communicated at different hierarchy, and the one which the authorities thought it is worth, they have taken it, that spirit itself. So that way, there was actually a reasonably good linkage at different levels.
So then what role these organizations did play in the campaign exactly? I mean, like you said, one thing that it is not social distancing, and then the state accepted it, etc., etc. Then what in the campaign itself, what role did you play as a KSSP or in other organizations also? What is their role?
See, all the activities of the KSSP, we have got environmental group, we have education group, we have health, gender. So all these different sectors were actually focused only to Corona pandemic. And there was a campaign cell actually developing poster material, education material, and we have formed right up to the grassroots level. Thousands of groups were formed, WhatsApp groups. So admin only groups were formed right up to the peripheral level, and the periphery, what happens is it will be linked to so many Kudumbashree unit, or maybe with panchayat people or volunteers at the local level. So the admin only posts were actually sent out to the peripheral most part. And we have actually created, developed messages based on the creativity of the different groups of people drawn from across the state, and the creative ideas were actually put in that way. Maybe music, maybe poster, maybe direct talk or videos, goes like that.
Again, there is a one with this COVID thing. There is a huge discussion on the migrant workers, and you in Kerala call them the guest workers. That is very a nice term, and so I want to know that how you are managing such a large amount of 20,000 residential camps of these workers. I mean, and with physical distancing and with all facilities, can you elaborate on this?
See, around 3.5 million guest workers are there in Kerala. Almost equal number of Malayalis are working outside Kerala. Malayalis started working outside, especially Mumbai, Calcutta, Delhi, like that, some 3-4 decades back itself, even before independence itself. So they know the pain and agony of being a guest worker or a migrant laborer, whatever name that you. It is that sort of learning which forced us to understand what the other person requires. So that has helped us actually developing strategies to address the issue. Now, none of the health and the guest workers here were starved. You will find that people are complaining from other, I don't know, in the TV, the news comes that they are not getting food or something.
Yes.
Here, none of them were actually forced to the street for the sake of food and water, at least.
At least. That is the basis.
They came to street with the slogan, "Hum khar jana hai, khar jana hai." And there was no train, you cannot go. That sort of conflict was there at least 2 or 3 times in the state, but government did a splendid job over there. Not even a single force was used to control them. And they have hired people to speak the language which the police does not know. Yeah, Bengali and I don't know, all the
Assamese,
Maithili, I don't know, those sorts of language. So they actually collected people to speak in the same their language and prepared videos, audios, and some of the political leaders from even Bengal and Bihar was actually asking these people to be calm, be there, the government will take you. So on that angle, the communication channels were open. On the other side, they have straight away started the community kitchens, which would actually, but community kitchens didn't serve much for the migrant or the guest workers that we caught, basically because food is something culturally different in each setting. So many of them preferred to have raw food. Then raw food was given to their camp. You cook yourself. If chapati is enough, we can serve you. If not, so that sort of a flexibility was also there, and Kerala has got a reason. I don't know the situation in Maharashtra, but our local governments are really very powerful, much more efficient than the state governments. The local elected leaders are there, the ward member or maybe the panchayat member. They were really, because I don't know, they are unsung heroes in this fight, because they could organize these sorts of camps within a short notice. Once the order comes and they have mobilized resources, they will be able to mobilize local levels. All the expenses have not come from the state government. It's just they mobilized even the resources at the local level, started functioning the clinics, the kitchens, and that's how they manage. It's a really a phenomenon that you have to actually observe, study, and try to emulate.
Oh, that's why your social strength is very much important. So many volunteers. We heard that some 7-8 lakh people. Your volunteers.
I do not know the exact number. When the government announced within 2-3 days, they have got 3 lakhs.
Oh,
that was fair enough.
Great.
After which I do not know what exactly is the number.
Yeah. I think that's why the Kerala guest workers didn't want to go for their native this thing. As you said, all this thing, food and water, you have taken care of all these facilities. So that's why there is no demand for that. Or
no, it is not like that. It's not like that.
Or was there a demand, and how you send them to their native places?
See, a good proportion of them actually wanted to go back to their. So that's quite natural for anybody to think. When a calamity strikes, you want to be with your close ones.
Family.
Okay. But the state understood that feeling. But at the same time, state was helpless basically because you cannot walk, you cannot run buses, you cannot run trains. So till train comes, you have to wait. That was actually communicated successfully with the group.
Successfully.
And now once they allowed these Shramik trains and all those things, now gradually there were some skirmishes, who should go first, who should go second, these sorts of things are there. But by and large, it is really managed very well. Very well, and I'll just give you not a story, an experience of a person.
Yes.
Say, I don't know whether you will understand the emotions in when I am speaking in a different language. I know when the people usually actually start going back, the administration packed their food for the journey. Gave it. I don't know. You understand the emotional side of it. The people were actually, I saw a person who is actually, his eyes were actually full
with tears.
With tears, in the sense, somebody is, just as the mother is giving something to the children. On your way back, you can have it. So the gesture was really experienced. The guest workers were experiencing the warmth in there. So they were being respected. But within our limitation, whatever little we could do, we have done. But definitely there will be limitations to it. But by and large, they appreciate it.
So how we are astonished that how this machinery is sensitized there.
It's here again, I personally view it is a strength of the local government.
Okay.
Because, local government, they are very close to the people. They'll feel the pain or maybe the excitement or whatever the people have. And the local leaders are coming and saying something, and the communication system was really excellent. You should understand, lakhs and lakhs of groups are there, WhatsApp group, and then TV news, paper, in that sort of a situation, communication was really good and people knew what they were expected to. And majority of them were actually following it up.
The COVID is not affecting all on the same plane, like caste, gender, and things like that. So, can you comment on that?
Okay. There are segments in the society which are affected unequally, more in some segments than the others.
Yes.
Say, when you cut the public transport, or maybe if you say that you cannot move, the lowest and daily wage earners will be most affected, number one.
Yes.
Out of which, there are a good proportion of the domestic help. They do not have any job, no income, and they don't get there. Or even wayside small petty traders, even the peanut selling wala, these are small scale auto rickshaws. Thousands of them. These are small. These are not occupations actually you get into your GDP. These are some sort of small working group, thousands and thousands of them are there.
Yes.
Their income comes to zero.
Yeah.
And many of them don't even have the Jan Dhan and all those things. And none of these help, the financial help, the state extends will reach them. But there again, I tell you, one important and something unique the state of Kerala has adopted is whether you are a BPL or APL, poor or above poverty line. Each one has got a 15 kg rice and a grocery bag. Everybody. No cost.
No cost. Oh.
So be there in home. We deliver your food. Don't get out. It clicked.
Great. I wanted to know also how all other supportive services like you said food, but water supply, shelter and the sanitation arrangement also they are pulled in.
Initially there were some hiccups in those sorts of areas, but gradually they realized and every essential system were coming. Another segment which I didn't, is actually the women in the households.
Women in households.
I have seen people, many reports from other parts of India that the harassment, maybe domestic conflicts, violence, everything is going up. I didn't, to my direct, either my direct experience or through the papers or news channels from here, I didn't have any experience of seeing the violence in Kerala going up because of COVID lockdown. Rather, many of the housewives are actually happy. Their husbands are there in the home and taking care of the cleanliness activities of the home and the surrounding places. That's exactly what the Chief Minister was asking them to do.
So, on your all these experiences, you have to say some special comments or guidelines to our viewers at large, especially in Maharashtra.
I got a lot to say. I don't know what to say, and I'm sorry. I don't know to whom should I say, whom will listen. In fact, I was trying to reach out to some of my friends in Mumbai and Gujarat. When we had some 15-30 cases, I was calling all those people. Please wake up. You will pay the price unless you do. But things were going in a different way. The administration didn't pay that much attention.
Yes.
Even today, actually, before you called, we were actually 2 hours. We were working with some of my friends in Ahmedabad how to contain the epidemic in Ahmedabad. They are struggling a lot over there. So Maharashtra is a state which is likely to get
very bad.
Very bad,
Very bad.
From today now. If you foresee, maybe by mid-June, things will be much, maybe 4 to 10 times higher than what you are having now.
Yes.
But every calamity should be approached not with any panic style. Rather, we have to sit together and take charge of the situation. It can be done if we decide collectively. We will be getting results out.
Yes.
See, the Kerala did not act anything, did not have any sort of magic. Whatever is usually stated, whatever is usually actually said to contain these sorts of epidemic, they were literally put to action. So everybody has got the knowledge. The only difference is between how this knowledge is translated into action. In order to translate this knowledge into action, we need to work together. Whether it is a male or a female or a Hindu or a Christian or a Muslim or something else, I don't know, tribal or non-tribal, whoever they are, all of us are human beings. We need to actually come together. It's a survival of each and every one of us. Unless we come together, we will not be able to. So come together in terms of ideas. So this is exactly the message that I would love to tell. I am sure that anybody hearing this will also know that what I'm saying is correct. They will agree with me. But the problem comes in translating this idea, how best we can actually translate into practice. Translating ideas into practice, we will have to consider the local realities, local organizations, power structure, the society, everything. I'm not saying that at one point of time you just cannot get rid of all the religious or caste or other feelings straight. Maybe you'll be able to reduce it a little bit. I'll just stop with one point that when you should understand that not Kerala, Travancore state was actually the one which was implementing compulsory smallpox vaccination right in 1820s, somewhere there. The vaccine was discovered in 1796, January. And 1812 or 1820, somewhere there, state made it compulsory that everybody should be vaccinated. Okay. During those days, Kerala was actually defined by Kerala was actually observed as something like a lunatic asylum by even Swami Vivekananda. You should understand. The caste structure was so high, and one caste will not go to the other house. But what the rulers did? They trained SC people to immunize SC. From each community, they took people, trained them. You go and administer vaccine to your community. There are different approaches.
Different.
That's approach. During those days, it was considered it's a humane approach because everybody is taken care of. So the care and concern should be the key word, watchword that we have to like that. And you cannot just change the society in 24 hours. Understand the nuances. Try to reduce the conflicts, and at the same time, certain places you'll have to be very, very firm also. If you work together and the government is ready to listen to the different types of voices that is actually pouring in, definitely we will be able to achieve it. I don't know, from this part, sitting far off from that place and with the minimum knowledge in the cultural milieu and social milieu of the state, I will not be able to say much. But this is what I feel.
No, but what you are saying is very, very important, I think, because here the health state machinery is there. Of course, Maharashtra is very huge compared to Kerala, no doubt about it. But its social strength is very, very important, I feel. Without that, you cannot fight and restrict the COVID patients, whatever you have done today, But I actually appreciate your social commitments and not verbal commitments. Actually, on the ground, as you are giving your flesh and blood day and night, and we have seen all this, so we are proud of you. And also, I think all the viewers will get these ideas and get motivation. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.